When the city burns down, I'm going to go to Disney World. You are now going off with RC and Muse. Muse, how you doing?
I'm tired.
We are tired. We got that senioritis, something awful, ready for this goddamn year to end.
You've heard of gonads, right? I'm not gonna go ahead and tell you to not listen to this episode because I obviously want you to, but this is RC and Muse at like 60-70%.
and we've got 3 nads to look at, so we.
Oh god, yeah. Well, hey,
yeah. So let's.
It worked out really well last week. We were able to knock out 3 out of the queue. And
exactly.
I know we say first come, first serve, but sometimes if we can work the list a little bit in our favor so we can get a shorter one in there so we can knock out 3 in a week, I don't see any problem with that. And with that said...
Who's going to stop us?
We ended up with one that was an hour, one that was about 45 minutes, and one that was about 15. So it's like, well, that comes out to a perfect 2. Why not do that? And we just so happen to be, again... knocking out another indie request. This time it's Toni the Martian.
The Martian, requested by Daniel Wilson. Thank you so much for your request. And of course, if you want to request something, you can go ahead and hit up that Going Off Ko-fi. You know what's going on.
Let's actually give that out before I forget. It's ko-fi.com/goinoff. That's GOINOFF. I know by the end of this, I'm going to be fucking exhausted, so let me get that plug out before I forget.
Yeah.
That is where you can request albums to be reviewed on a future episode. RC, Toni the Martian, iterations.
BBOBB.
As far as the indie requests go, I thought this was better than most.
Oh, absolutely. I thought his sound was a lot more like he was definitely cohesive with the sound. The production was very solid and kind of put together, really polished. But it was just the actual musical choices themselves where it more came down to how I felt about it, you know.
My problem, I guess, came down to... I've said this before. I'm going to sound like a broken record. If the music itself sounds dope enough, I don't really give a shit about what you're saying, kind of. And I don't really know what the fuck was being said on most of this. Like, it doesn't help that I don't think lyrics were anywhere.
Yeah,
they might have been on Bandcamp.
I couldn't find the lyrics. I was like, oh man, that's not going to help.
They weren't on Genius, and I gave up. But I will say, though, that, I thought the beats on here, the samples, were pretty good for the most part. I will say, though, that personally, for me, this album fell apart at the end. I thought the last 2 tracks, The Matter with Time and Yeah, were the absolute worst. The Matter with Time being the worst.
I thought it was relatively solid all the way through, where it was just like, it was all okay. You know what I mean? All of these tracks are like less than 2 minutes each. And so you kind of don't really get much of a momentum going before the track already kind of ends.
The beat and the samples were very dated. I hated the flow that he chose for that one.
You didn't like that? I like the end is nigh. Oh yes, the end is so terribly nigh. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked what he was doing up to that point. Up to that point, the only song I gave less than a 3 was From the Mountain's Peak. Other than that, I think everything else got a 3. Like, pretty middle of the road. I just thought it sounded okay, and the lyrics took a back seat. If it sounded good, and if I was having fun listening to it, that's really all I needed.
I thought it had a nice little hip-hop southern rap sample in the back. I thought that was kind of cool. I like some of the lyrics that I could remember to write down, where he says, like, listen closely as they speak. Their end may be the power that you seek. I was like, ooh, that's kind of a dope little joint there. And I liked Trash Tracks. He has one lyric that says, bliss is what the ignorance contrives, and you hear like the low clanging at the end while he's rapping. I thought that was kind of like a cool switch up. There's just like a couple of choice lyrics that I had noticed where I was just like, oh snap, that especially sticks out. The cost of avarice, where he says like, smoking till I'm discolored, the dangers within the lightning, so I do not fear the thunder. And with that one, this was the one that stuck out the most because it had like a bit that kind of like sticks in your brain where he just goes like, he'll end the verse and then just go like, do you get it now? Do you? Do you get it? And like at first I thought I kind of got it, but then I was like, wait, what is this about? Is it about how he's awesome or how he's not awesome? Yeah, because he goes like, oh, if she don't give me the panties, then hopefully the dude who's smashing has some manners. Do you get it now? And I was like, no, actually, I don't. I really don't.
I thought I did.
Yeah.
Until you asked me, I thought I did. Now I'm not so sure anymore.
And then it was an okay enough ending. Overall, it was. I'd give this a 3.5 to be lenient with the indie cats, like I usually am. I think it's a solid enough joint, and I think it's just enough above average with what it's doing in the confines of like listening to a couple of 1.5 minute tracks. It's solid. You know what I mean?
I ended up with a 2.5, not too much worse than the near rating. I guess it's just those two were really the deal breaker for me. From there, and I know that was like no time at all, but it was only like a 15-minute EP, so I mean...
We're about giving it the amount of time that the album is.
I'd say if Anthony Fantano can give a 10-minute review to an album that's like over an hour, I think we can give an album that's 15 minutes like 3, 4. I think that's fine.
I think we did about like 7, actually.
Did we? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Time flies. Anyway.
When you're having fun.
With that, we're going over to Arab Strap Monday at the Hug and Pint. Who requested this? I didn't even see it. I missed it.
The SMS stuff.
That's right.
Yes.
How could I forget?
This album was so like, oh man, I don't know if this is just what I need or not what I need, because it was so down, so dour, so... I think this is a Scottish band, am I wrong?
Yes, it is Scottish, yes.
Yeah, because at first I was getting the melancholy British vibes, but then I was like, wait, no, there's a little bit more bend in that accent. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Like, there's some Glasgow in here, wait a minute.
I was thinking about the mid-2000s. Like, there was that time period where we just got a bunch of, like, bands out of Europe, specifically, like, British bands, like Arctic Monkeys and...
Oh, sure.
The Fratellis. All the songs kind of sound the same, but in a way that works because it's a good enough sound that you don't really mind.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I kind of got that with this also, because just about every song gives you either a simple drum or drum machine.
Yeah, there's like an artificial sounding drum beat. Yeah, and then the strings on top of it. And
you're pretty much guaranteed those two on every track, which isn't a bad thing. Like I said, it sometimes if it's a good enough sound, I don't mind if you're just giving me the same thing over and over again if it works, especially when it's not that long. This was the 45-minute one. I didn't really get tired of the sound, even though there wasn't much deviation.
It felt like if that song by The Verve was like a whole album,
Bittersweet Symphony?
No, yeah, like it was like, all right, here's that sound expanded into a full album,
There were a couple times on the album songs that I liked more than the others. Flirt was a favorite.
I think Flirt was, it had some fun energy. And the lyric where being thoughtful is just a curse, but a one-night stand just makes it worse.
I also really liked Serenade. That was more towards the end on the second half there.
Serenade. What did I feel about that? Oh,
that was another one with the drum machine going off.
Yeah, those were like, this sounds the most like the super sad club that this album takes place in,
And I think you get the super sad vibe mainly from the vocals, am I right?
Yes, absolutely. It's so dour. Yeah.
Kind of monotonous. I think that is what I got tired of most.
The delivery was just too samey.
Yeah. There were a couple songs where there's a little bit more energy, and I think those were the ones that I was taking more note of. But overall, most of my interest was with the music, not so much the singing, because he sounded so unenthused and just
that disaffected growl that he kind of has.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about this when we talk about car seat headrest, that I kind of have the same issue of when you don't sound like you want to be here, so why should I want to be here? You know?
but see, for me, I felt that it was like trying to personify, what the aesthetic was going for, right? Like even the album cover is like, women at a bar serving drinks, and
I do really like that cover.
Yeah. And I love that, like, by track 2, I totally got what was going on. Like, track 1, it was just, introduction to the sound. But track 2, literally the song's called Meanwhile at the Bar, a Drunkard Muses.
Yeah.
and like, the first thing I wrote was like, well, this track definitely fits his namesake. It just sounds like, yeah, a drunk Scottish dude as he strums his guitar and drunkenly muses. And the rest of the album is like, if that same drunk dude somehow got a full orchestra behind him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what was it? Oh, Fucking Little Bastards. That was the one that was about birds, I think.
That was one where I saw the name of the song and I was hoping that it was going to hit harder, given that it's called Fucking Little Bastards.
Yeah, but it's all in the same malaise.
Yeah, and like the instrumental was even a little bit more aggressive too, but the vocals just weren't like it. Like there's only a couple times where they actually kind of match, or at least kind of catch up to each other. I did really like, at the end here, I noted there were creeping, haunting vocals very low in the mix when the song ends. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of atmospheric stuff that I dig, where it does set it apart from other songs when like there's little things going on, like which track was it? Serenade, where randomly the instrumental towards the end picks up and gets way more complex, and then just ends with a random sound of a firework going off.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh okay.
Whoa, okay, what the fuck's going on over here?
Yeah, I gave it an interesting color to it. And I did like the lyrics in Fucking Little Bastards where he says, and I can't stick the way that they flap and flutter. They whisper I'm a cunt, then they cackle and mutter. But I'm sure I heard them reassure me everything ends as I walked away from all my fake friends. And then the last lyric where he goes, I used to think they all loved me, but now I know it's pity. And they know that they can always flee this fucking city. They even said they'd help me out and give me a head start. And they know that these days my cock's as numb as my heart. It's like,
oh, that's right.
Like, goddamn.
I think a lot of it does have to do with the overall aesthetic, but it's just, I guess, sonically it doesn't always appeal to me. Like, there are some tracks where the singing is a bit more slurred, and I get that that's what we're going for, that it's supposed to be at a bar, this is what's going on. I don't necessarily always want to hear that, though, with singing, and songs where they're a little bit darker, like Peep Peep is considerably darker than the songs before it. I wish that I guess that's where I really wish it would catch up more. Like, if the song is darker, I wish maybe there'd be like a little bit more of a menacing singing going on,
some
and
sort
not
of
just
bigger
the same
switch up. Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
I do want to bring up though Loch Leven with the musical interlude that was just the bagpipes and the strings. That sounded so beautiful. Like, this is probably the best bagpipes I've ever sounded.
I really liked it had the intro, which was a bagpipe instrumental with, what I really liked about that track was that it would randomly have these light tape warp edits. Yeah. Where like it sounds like someone's like if someone were to be playing it on a tape player, they just kind of like lean on the pause button a little bit, so just like it kind of like almost skips a little bit, like something's going on. It sounds good, but something's wrong with it. I like that. Yeah. And I like that it carries over the instrumental of Loch Leven. I like too. Lyrics I wasn't so crazy about, But instrumentally, sure.
Yeah, instrumentally, because it's like, yeah, the intro is so sweet. It was so serene and otherworldly sounding, and then it gets into the next song where like the music feels like water crashing on a shore with the way it's kind of in a unique time signature and moving around. And I was like, whoa, this is really fucking cool. And I did especially like the first lyric though. The rain pissed down on Levin shores. The same rain would rain on superstores and set off car alarms in our streets. Let's burn our clothes and hunt our meat. And then Glue, yeah, I wrote like, oh wow, this man gets right down to the point, huh? But it's always drowned out in that sorrowful doldrums melancholia with just the production with these lyrics. Sex without love is a good ride worth trying, but love without sex is second only to dying. When kissing is missing and legs stay shut tight, you'll hate every morning and dread every night. Don't drag it out when you've lost your glue. I was like, oh damn.
I took note of Act of War. The way this track opens, if your hair was a call to arms and your legs were what skirts are for, then your mouth was a red alert, but your eyes were an act of war. That's a fantastic couplet.
Yeah.
And I was really interested in what that had to say, and I like the overall feel of it. But I think the metaphor got old for me pretty quick. Like,
yeah, I get you.
Kind of kept riding with that. I was like, okay. I liked it at first, but now it's too much.
You're stretching it, yeah. And I did like the way it ended in that really nebulous feeling with the final lyric. It's like, why does she always have bruises? They'd be much happier apart. The fact is, you've always been clumsy. Be it with tables at your work or with my heart. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I just didn't know how to feel.
There was a darkness to this that I definitely appreciated. I don't always know where it was going. One thing that I liked, sound-wise, with the week never starts round here, that had the kind of layered vocal parts. I wish they did that more. Oh, I did quote from Who Names the Days. He likes to lie to them and use them. I think he loves to watch me play games, and he loves to watch me lose them.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure exactly what was going on with that one lyrically.
Who is... like, is it talking about like his dad? You know, maybe it's like, you know, he caused him to act this way because of what, you know, he saw, but... Or is it from a woman's perspective? I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, right.
This was a track especially where I really enjoyed the viola and how it kind of overtook him on some of the vocal lines. It kind of felt like it was personifying like a sawing headache with how it was kind of like a little harsh on the musicality of it. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of, that text painting is really cool. I mean, musical text painting is really cool, you know?
Yeah, I took note of that one too. It definitely stood out on that track.
Yeah. Overall though, I'd give this one a 4 out of 5. I think it's solid. What about you?
I got a 3.5. I guess just on some of them I was a little less impressed or left a little more wanting on some of the tracks, but...
This was 2002, I believe, and the other album we're doing is from 2003. And we always have these weird, like, juxtapositions that happen with the albums we review, with things like that, where it's just like, oh, these came out around the same year, even though there's no reason why this would have happened on our list for this to happen. Like, this just happened, like, what was the sound of 2002 and 2003, turn of the century, in rock and hip-hop, I guess? Like,
well, now, see, here's the thing. This album sounds very 2002, 2003. LP's Fantastic Damage feels way ahead of its time production-wise.
Yeah, it is crazy, and I guess that's going to be our transition. Wrist of Kings requested Fantastic Damage by LP, and it is such a strange... Like, you know, on a certain way, it does sound locked into its time, but on that certain, like, it really does feel like it's pushing it on that other level that other people at the time weren't doing yet. So it's like, it fits, but it transcends it in a really weird way. It's so dusty and crunchy. Mm-hmm. What a weird album this is, man. And boy, does this album cover fit the musicality.
Yeah, it really does. My main critique I'm going to lead with, okay, is that I think LP does a great job on this album. Maybe not so much the features.
I can't remember. I thought Vast Air was fun.
I'm gonna go ahead and even say this. Hot take. Controversial. For me.
Oh.
Aesop Rock dropped the fucking ball on this even.
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn. I was thinking of that.
I forgot what Aesop Rock sounded like in this time period. His flow, I'm going to rap like this, and I was like, oh no! Oh, I hate this! I really don't like that period of Aesop Rock. I was like, oh no!
I was looking at the parts and I was like, oh, this is the hook? Like, this doesn't sound like a hook. They're just like rambling on for like, and then it just cuts to them and it's like, oh, and I guess it repeats part of it at the end. And I was like, how is that a hook? Like, what? That was a mini verse.
This actually transitions into my other issue with the album. DeLorean featuring Aesop Rock and Ill Bill. Almost said Kill Bill. Not Kill Bill. I don't know how old he would have been at this time period, but Ill Bill. This song in particular does not age well at all with the F and R slurs.
Oh, the way it starts. Is that the one where it starts with it? Like, and it's like, I kind of was thinking like, all right, but this is New York, hardcore New York, right? Especially right after 9/11. That was the thing I was thinking about, like, oh shit, yeah, this was like right after then, right? And it's like, this is the harsh way they're speaking, but it don't land on the ears so well,
That would be Dead Disney, the song right before it, which...
Oh, dang, I actually like that one.
This, with the time period, is my issue with LP. I'm most familiar with his work in Run the Jewels, because it's more recent. When LP is on his Eminem, Kool Keith shit... You can keep that.
Yeah, a little edgelordy and,
Fucking Dead Disney specifically, and also Dr. Hellno and the Praying Mantis. I was like, get this shit. I don't need this.
Oh, no, you weren't feeling that at all, huh?
No, with Dead Disney, the concept itself is worse than the execution. It's basically LP's rapping about killing Disney characters, which on paper sounds like you said, some really random edgelord shit.
Yeah.
The second verse actually is a lot better than the first one. I was like, oh no, especially when, he seriously just drops the F slur like 5 times in 2 lines. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? What is the point of this? And it's got this weird kid voice. Like, Disney. I was like, okay, I hate that. That needs to go. So that was like, but then, like I said, he still ends up saving it a little bit. But on the first half, that was, in my opinion, the weakest track. No, it's that and DeLorean. DeLorean's definitely worse, because Ill Bill even has an interlude on that track, which is just nothing. I don't know why the fuck it was even there.
Why is this going on for so long? I thought it was a verse, but it was like, no, I think he's just talking, getting my dick sucked at a strip club by cokeheads. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. The one good part was playing tackle football on concrete. Like, I thought I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's fucking hardcore. But then everything was like, why is it hitting you in the head with plastic magnets? Like, what?
Because I even have written down for Dr. Hellno, Real Nothing verse from Vast Air. I didn't care for him.
Yeah.
And I also was just kind of feeling whatever on Cage and Camus on Accidents Don't Happen.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they do kind of feel like they don't fit in with what he's doing. But it's like, at the same time that I enjoy his uniqueness, like, I do kind of feel like stuff gets lost in the sauce. One of my tracks that I liked the least was Truancy, where I thought there was just too much word stuffing at certain points. Where
I actually really liked that one. I dug Truancy.
Like, there would just be times where it would just be like, okay, that underground rapper thing that a lot of, like, rappers do is, like, to sound impressive is to just say lots of words, but it's just like, but if I can't follow it, it's like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say this, a big hand of me enjoying that song was because it came after Dead Disney and DeLorean, and it wasn't that I was like, whew, okay, we're back to something of quality. If this was, out of that context, maybe I wouldn't have rated it as high, but it was a breath of fresh air after the last 2. And I also did really like the beat switch up. The fucking beats on this, we're gonna sound like a broken record, but god damn. We just gotta say, because we skipped over it entirely, Fantastic Damage, the opening track.
Oh, yes.
Holy shit! That song is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's got this, like, completely unrelated sample at the beginning, which it's from a song that I don't remember offhand. And it plays that, and it's got this beat under it, and then it just stops. And it feels like it should just be an entirely different track. and then you just hear or someone in the background going, "Shut up!" And then it just like switches into an even sicker beat.
That's right.
And LP just fucking spits this unrelenting, like, holy shit, okay.
He's on some abstract Ghostface killer shit where it's like,
yeah.
But the issue with it is like it really can be hit or miss with how it works. You know what I mean? And it's like
I agree.
And it hits when it flows and comes together where you're just like, I don't need to know what's happening. I'm just along for the ride. But then, like I said, when he overstuffs the words, it's just like, it sounds like you're trying to sound smart just to sound smart. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. How did you feel about Squeegee Man shooting, which was more of a storytelling track?
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, I love the beat work and the echoing in his voice. It made it like everything came together. It sounded like he was rapping on top of the that drum machine that Russell from Gorillaz has. You know, like like where it just feels like all of these sounds are coming together somehow, making this cohesive thing, even though each individual sound does not feel like it should. You know, it's so weird.
It makes it easier to remember what the song is about too when it isn't a word salad. When it actually is just like, oh yeah, that's the song where he fucking talks about getting his ass kicked for wearing, like, knockoff bootleg.
Yeah. I gotta quote some of the lyrics where he's like, kids are patriotic, robotic operate catapults and goose stepping over innocence, vagrants of Reaganomics phasing, read the books that will burn at the barn raising. And what's the other part where it's, oh yeah, at the end where he's like, this is the third installment of a prequel that was never written right, filmed with that classic Brooklyn magic without LucasArts graphics, rendered cuddly comic relief creatures are terrible child actors, get off that jade elephant, you're stoned and remember everything backwards. Okay, and this was the thing that just like kept bothering me, he would just go on for like almost 4 bars where shit just didn't rhyme, and it was like if you're saying something that's interesting enough where like, oh, that was so crazy, it didn't need to because the pop of what he was saying was so good. But other times it would just be like, I'm just lost in the soup of what you just said because there was no grounding rhyme anywhere. So it was just like, what? You know?
I do appreciate him trying to lift his fellow weathermen.
Oh, sure.
Almost everybody is represented from Aesop to Cage. No Tame One. I would have liked to hear some Tame One. No Yak Balls. We did hear Camus.
What a name!
No
Yak
Copyright.
Balls.
Oh man, I forgot these fucking dudes.
God.
Copyright
Shit!
Jakai the Motormouth.
Oh my god. Yo, fucking Jakai and Copyright were the fucking guys.
Oh man. But yeah, like, and again, unfortunately, just about everybody failed to stand up to LP. Like, he outshined, which I guess on your project is what you want to do.
And I think his shit is just so, like, on another level that it's like, how, like, when I heard Mr. Lift's verse at the end, I was like, this is an okay verse, but I don't think this feels weird that this is at the end of this album. Like, yep, and here's the period on the end of the sentence. It's like, huh? Like, does this fit this? You know?
Yeah.
Deep Space 9mm.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, and like, this is a dope track, and there would just be like weird, just non sequitur shit, like the part where he's like, I'm a caveman, your modern ways frighten and confuse me, I watch your spirit box with the blinking lights, and I think, are those little people trapped in that box? And you're in the background, no, caveman. Like, what? Where is he?
Yeah, I like the little side notes.
Yeah.
I liked the random interjection. In about 4 seconds, the ether will begin to leak. I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty clever.
And yeah, so, you know, when someone randomly, like on the Genius, they brought up, you know, it's like, yeah, this is right after 9/11. It's like, then like little things kept sticking out to me, like where he says, you know, existence on the fringes and such. My generation just sit like ducks, see the rubble glisten. That's what I trust. Tell the historian I'm right here holding my nuts. You know, it's just like, oh shit. And then there's a song called Tuned Mass Damper.
Right.
Which I didn't know that, tuned mass dampers are stabilizers often used in skyscrapers to prevent building swaying during strong winds or earthquakes. So, yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, there's like these things are just like sideways. It makes you think about like, oh shit, yeah. Oh shit, yeah. You know? Oh, I just wanted to point out the lyric here. Microscopic Sally... I gotta say this whole part just because it all leads into it.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Microscopic Sally Struthers with a lobster bib munching on white platelets. Epiphanies leap out and surprise off a batch of dead friends. The hardest way to get zen. You motherfuckers don't have grit. You're all teenage poetry, martyrs without causes. Alarmists and opinions get taxed. Motherfuckers, did I sound abstract? I hope I sounded more confusing than that. Like, what?
I was gonna quote it, but then I was just like, I don't know what the fuck half that means. Never mind.
But I really don't know what that means. I had a feeling
you would. Anyway, I was like, I don't think I gotta worry about it. As soon as it was like, microscopic Sally Struthers, I was like, what?
Microscopic Sally Struthers.
It's definitely on that Aesop Rock line, though, for sure. I had to double check, too, because I was like, okay, this is 2002 or whatever. I was like, when did None Shall Pass come out? Because I was like, I know that sounds different. And that was 2007.
Yeah, that was a little later.
Okay. Okay. I was like, this is a ways off. We're talking about best cuts on the album. My favorites overall.
Okay.
Fantastic Damage, I think, is a incredible opener.
Sure.
I also really did like Truancy, and also, if it weren't for this really annoying hook in the Nang, the front, the bush, the shit, that was a standout. But fucking Stepfather Factory.
Oh my god, that was the future of what LP would do, like, as an artist. You know what I mean? Like, these weird concepts that are so strange. Like, okay, have you ever heard the song Flyentology? I think it was like Trent Reznor did like the remix of it, and that's the one that has the music video. And it's like about how, like, you know, if you're falling and you're like, you know, hoping anything will save you, you're just like praying to whatever will do that. And so, like, you know, there's no logic to this shit. So it's like, it's kind of like being sympathetic to, you know, people who seek out religion while also being, you know, kind of critical and smarmy of them, right? And it's like, whoa, there is no atheists in the foxholes. Whoa, there is no scientist in the air. Whoa, there is no, there's no scientist on the way down just to work an example of faith versus physics. And it's like, you know,
that sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure I have heard that.
And so when I hear this track, it's like, oh shit, this is his like higher minded shit that he be getting on. Fucking Stepfather Factory, basically about like, you know, like, yeah, don't you feel so sad when, you know, your mother or father is unhappy and you don't know what to do and you just wish that things would be perfect and you didn't have to think about it? Well, come on down to the Stepfather Factory. This is what's going to be in the future, you know, like, this is like, holy fuck. And the way it's so cold and delivers this, like, yeah, that's a possibility. This could probably happen. I can see this.
Yeah, this is a thing, and I'll be as delicate with this as possible. This comes up on a couple different tracks where LP talks about his, I think, stepfather, and how he was physically abusive to his mom and sexually abusive to his sister. And that comes up on a couple different tracks, but this one, I think, maybe not. No, it is mentioned on Accidents Don't Happen, but on this one, I guess it's specifically most addressing the whole situation, or at least the concept of it, with the extremely creepy outro.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just this robotic voice going, "Why are you making me hurt you? I love you. Why are you making me hurt you?" Oh, fucking hell, it's so... oh my god, and the way skin crawling.
The way he's so slick with the verses here. I just gotta quote this part where he was like, on display here for the first time in inter-year here at the World's Fair. But is it really? Ladies and gentlemen, I propose that the market is sinking under the weight of the useless contraptions added to the shopping carts of all hard-working families, electric doodads and whizzer apps and such to keep the munchkins entertained, but get replaced by newer versions or just break down systematically. And then when he gets the part where he says, so I don't know much about medicine, but I'm willing to bet you, yes, you little sweetheart, what's your name? Well, yeah, whatever. You get a funny feeling in your tummy when you see mommy cry, something between woozy and confusion, and you spend your thoughts on how the sadness in your mommy can be rooted out, burned, scorned, turned down, forgotten, so you can concentrate on candy and little baby dolls or whatever it is that normal kids get to think about. And it's like, again, it's the thing, like, it doesn't even really matter like what's rhyming or anything. It's just like the way how he's pulling you along for this, like, to paint this picture. It's so like, ooh, it's just so affecting. It's insane.
I understand that it might be a difficult listen for some, especially if, you know, it does hit close to home, but that is a very strong recommendation. Like, if you listen to any song off this one,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's gotta be that one. But I also gave a really high rating to TOJ, the follow-up track, also.
I just wanted to quote the last thing it says. He says on that Stepfather Factory, he goes like, "Remember, no cash returns, only credits towards future purchases." It's like, no, you're not getting your money back, bitch. Oh man, you didn't like Dr. Hell No with the Fragmenters. I thought that was
No, I didn't care for that.
I like the hook where it's like, don't make, like, there's something about Vast Air where he just sounds like wind blowing because it just feels like slightly labored with how he does. Don't make me bite your face because it ain't like I like the taste. It's more of a psychological thing. It's just so weird.
I didn't mind that. I thought that was okay. Yeah, I forgot about that bar. Constellation Funk was another one about very, very touchy topics, which he really does just throw it in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Accidents Don't Happen was specifically about it, and neither was Constellation Funk, because it really does just kind of come out of nowhere. Because I don't think he even mentions trauma or anything like that until, like, the second or third verse. Before that, it's just, hey, this is a dope song with a funky beat, eh? Like, oh, okay. So it really does just, like, hit you. It's that fucking, it's that Gorilla's boxing glove. You don't see it.
Oh my god, I'm so happy you reminded me of that. The beginning of the video, what was that song? Obsidian? Strobe Light, yeah. At the beginning of the music video, it's barely like 5 seconds in, and you just see this like jackass, just like, and you just immediately get, you're like, you don't even have time to register, like, oh, here's the clown who's going to get joked on in the oh shit, he just like punch the fuck out.
I hate that that's like the only thing I remember from that whole video, and it's like in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any notes on it, but I liked the instrumental Innocent Leader as a cut.
It was the one track that sounded the most, like, calm, like, it has, like, warbling synths and, like, you know, has, like, a bit of a driving beat, but it's, like, it's the most relaxed sounding beat on the whole album. There's not, like, a bunch of, like, crunchy shit happening, so it's just, like, I kind of appreciated it as, you know, what it was doing as a different energy, too, so it's like, huh, you know?
Another feature, one that I didn't think was as... Well, actually, no, I don't have any notes for it, so maybe I didn't really feel any strong way about it, but a name I at least recognized going in, Sea Ray's Walls.
What a name. Sea Ray's
Walls.
Like, it feels like it's supposed to be a play on words for something, but I can't think of what it is. Like,
couldn't
Crazy
tell you
Walls?
offhand.
Or is it...
I didn't have anything written down for Laserface's Warning, but I liked it.
It was okay. I thought it was going somewhere with the interlude, but then it just kind of meanders around, like, lyrically, like some of the early songs. Oh yeah, and then again 9/11 imagery where it's like, guess I'm afraid that if we don't stop, I think these lasers in my head might just spill out and fucking melt something, and when there's nothing left but smoldering rubble and glass, when everything is silent like a hovercraft filled with dead actors in Ziploc bags, with nothing left but a faint echo of our own beautiful busted legs, well, all I can say is that I tried to warn you.
God damn.
But, like, that was, like, the crazy interlude, but, like, it didn't lead into a verse that was kind of, like, building off of that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I got a 4 on this one.
You know, okay, so I'm gonna be honest with what I got from my rating. When I, you know, put all the tracks together and divided again, I got 3.73 repeating.
Okay, look, if I can be honest, I got a 3.5, and I was like, that doesn't feel right. So I bumped it up to a 4. But I didn't get a 4.
Like, it's the thing where I'm like, yeah, and part of it is us having the conversation, right? And like, and really talk about the music, you know, feel our way out, right? But yeah, there's a feeling where it's just like, it definitely feels like it's about 3.5, but there's so much that's really weird and crackly on here. I don't know if it's like a 4, but then at the same time, it's just like, but is that part of it too, right? Like the fact that it's so weird and out there, like on that Gorilla's like, hey, maybe not everything's gonna hit you, but the point is that it just keeps pummeling you with the weirdness of it, you know? So, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna jump up for the 4. That's you need to listen to that. Yeah, fuck it. You need to listen to this album. I'll give it that. I'll round that up.
There are songs on here that really don't need to be here, in my opinion,
yeah.
and do kind of fuck up the flow. But do they make the really, really good songs, like, Okay, I'll put it like this. Are the really, really good songs on here worth listening to and waiting through the weaker songs to get to?
That's exactly the question,
yes.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Like, if you start with Fantastic Damage and even Squeegee Man Shooting and Deep Space 9mm and even fucking Tuned Mass Damper, I think that's a 4-hit combo. It's fucking... It's awesome. It's one after the next. Yeah, you have to sit through Dead Disney and DeLorean, but then right after that you get Truancy, Denang, Accidents Don't Happen, Stepfather Factory. It's like... I'm not turning off the album after DeLorean because you'd miss an amazing second half.
And, you know, if you've got that edgelord early 2000s kid in you, you know, Dead Disney may still hit for you, you know? We're killing all those sweet, lovable properties. We're underground rap. We don't like that mainstream shit. You know?
And, you know, and like I said, it's only insufferable for, like, the first little bit. And then it does get better. Even that one. So really, the only song I would tell you to skip is DeLorean. And it's so funny because because looking at this and seeing, Aesop Rock, I was stoked. And it's like, no, you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and the thing is,
worth it.
I don't know about you, but the Great Scott didn't hit for me. Like, it just felt slightly too weak. Great Scott.
Yeah, I agree.
I was like, they need to get someone who really knew how to do that impression. Great Scott!
Just fucking sample it!
Yeah, right! You sampled 1984!
Yeah, how hard would it have been? This fucking underground, like, would you have gotten hit? Like, we can't pay for it. Pitch shift it. Do something. You can still just fucking sample the clip. Take a fucking clip from the cartoon Back to the Future if you're scared. I don't think anyone's gonna care or notice.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Or the fucking ride, the Universal Studios ride.
Oh, Morty.
I'm sure he says it in there.
We can't manipulate the past, Morty, except for when I realize I want to bang this chick in the 1800s. Then I want to manipulate the past. And I'm going to use a fucking huge-ass, lumbering-ass fucking train, Morty. This is so much better than a small car, Morty. I'm a genius, Morty.
Just say Morty again.
Morty.
But hey, look at that. We made it. We didn't fall asleep. It's going off. We subvert your expectations. And our own. But with that said, this is the last going off of 2021.
That's right.
21. I imagine we're skipping next week, so that would be the last one of the year. You know how this goes, man. It's the end of the year. RC's got the year-end countdown stuff that's going to take up a lot of time.
Yep.
I've got a video that I'm also editing this week, a rare, actually the one and only Riffcoms episode for the whole year. It's been Riff Break the whole rest of the year, but we're doing a Christmas special. It's the Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer cartoon movie.
Lord. Oh my lord.
We're doing that. I've never seen it in full until we filmed it for the thing, so a lot of it were raw reactions, and man, oh man. Yeah. And I've never seen anyone's review of it. I feel like it's like The Room, where a lot of people did videos on it, but I've never seen anyone's review of it, so I wasn't influenced in any way for that, so sorry if we reused jokes. We didn't know. But yeah, you've got the best of and the worst of coming up for people to look forward to.
That's right.
And also, we're all over social media on Twitter and our own YouTubes and Patreon and Ko-fi. There's plenty of ways to support us. Last week, you had mentioned that you're doing more streaming on YouTube than Twitch. Is that still the case?
It might be the case, but I might be switching back to Twitch.
That's all the more reason to stay up on the socials, so you never miss a stream and you always know what your boy's up to.
Exactly.
Unpredictable.
Twitch.tv/rapcritic. Look, if you follow my socials, you always gonna see.
You have no excuse.
I ain't trying to hide it from you. You know what I'm saying? If you follow the socials, you know exactly what's coming next. You know that's how you get ahead of the game. You know, so you're not like, where to go? Hey, look, I'm moving all across the internet, man. I can't be confined to one platform, man. Okay, I'm not a part of their system that says, ooh, you're branded YouTube or Twitch. No. I am my own man.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Can't be contained. Can't be held back.
That's right.
Free spirit.
God
you flow with the wind. It is the Ko-fi, the joint going off Ko-fi, which is where you can request an album to be reviewed on the show. It's ko-fi.com/goinoff. That's GOINOFF.
Oh, and my end, patreon.com/rapcritic if you want to get review a new podcast, exclusive episodes, and see Rap Critic episodes early, of course. And, of course, if you want to request a stream movie or music video song for me to review, kofi.com/rapcritic. You know what I'm saying? You can always go over there and support your boy over there. That's where the money comes directly to your boy. You know, Patreon is like, you know, the ongoing thing, but I gotta wait till the end of the month to get the money, and you gotta earn it to chase that carrot, Rap Critic. But yeah, or you could just donate, you know, just out of the goodness of your own heart. You know, that's all. You know, it's the Christmas, it's the holidays. You know what I mean? You could be that guy. It would be super appreciated.
I forgot to mention the ongoing project I've got going over on the Fan House page. I am listening to Kids Bop songs and recording my live reactions to them. A completely unedited video, posting 2 songs a day. And the playlist has over 880 songs in it. So it is limitless content, because you know how often they put these CDs out. By the time I get to the end, there's already going to be 2 more out.
Yeah.
So it never ends. The torment never ends.
It never fucking ends.
So you can head over to fanhouse.app/riffcoms. Currently, subscriptions are only $3 a month, and there is a discount if you subscribe for 3 months at a time. So you can go ahead and I think it's like save 10% if you subscribe for 3 months instead of 1. So, folks, there is going to be content uploaded every single day. So no reason to not anymore. And that honestly is probably the best way to support me, because Patreon, I think, takes a bigger percentage. Fanhouse, I think, still gives like 90% of the payout. So that's the best way to support me that way. And the Ko-fi, obviously, the joint Ko-fi, if you want to request an album. Our VIP, Dr. Goatman, is just recently came through with a few. As of right now, they're pretty much holding down the fort by themselves. So if you want to relieve Dr. Goatman of some of the pressure and request an album, so it's not just them requesting 4 in a row, you can head over to the Ko-fi. They requested 2 Lady Gagas and the next David Bowie in chronological order.
Oh, my Lord. But see, great requests, though, so I can't even complain.
No, we're definitely not complaining, Dr. Goatman. Please keep it up, by all means. We are not telling you to stop. Do not get it twisted. We're just trying to get some other people to join in. So, I don't know, so we're not just having like 2 episodes or 3 episodes in a row that are just for you. Like, we gotta mix it up somehow.
It is nice to see some other folks, you know what I'm saying, coming through, just see the diversity of thought in the requests, you know.
Until next year.
Oh, yeah. Ho ho. Yeah.
I'm Muse.
And I'm the Rap Critic. And see y'all in the year 222. Man, it cost me 22. Saturday on them 22s, birds go for 22. Lil' mama's super thick. She says she's 22. She seen them 22s. We in Route 222.